Call the regular city council meeting Monday, January 13, 2014 to order. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Here.
Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf. Here. Lukosius.
Here.
Perez.
Here.
Radke.
Here.
Mueller.
Here.
Sapienza.
Here.
Mayor Harrell.
Here. Pledge of allegiance. Okay, the Friends for the Prue Pool have a check to present, I'm told. Okay, we have any public comment?
No, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion to receive the minutes, place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke to receive the minutes and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the reports and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke to receive the reports and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Move on to committee reports. Council and Finance, Alderman Putoff, Alderman Radke.
Yes, Your Honor. Tonight, present to the council total disbursements for January 15th, year 2014. The disbursements total $2,082,034.84. In the disbursement total, the major disbursements are the power purchase from the IMEA, which is $1.2 million. The Trevero Street Program, $241,000. City spent about $30,228 for salt, and the Operman Construction for Storm Area Number 1 of $102,000. I'd like to make a motion that bills be received, placed on file, and paid in the usual manner.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke, to receive the disbursements and the bill paid in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, there's one check that, amend the disbursements to hold one check for $59.50. I believe the clerk knows what check that is for the, U.S. Tennis Courts.
Tennis courts.
We'll hold that.
Okay, that's duly noted.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Your Honor.
Also tonight, the city has received the audit from Whitfly. It's for the year 2013. Everybody has a copy of that. There are additional copies available at the city clerk's office, both electronically, or if you would like the paper copy, you're welcome to that. Just a few short notes on the audit. Overall, the city's maintained a very strong financial position. It has a steady sales tax base and positive revenues from both the electric and the water fund. The first page, very quickly, on page 8, will give the general balance for the general fund. Duly noted in that you have revenues of $14,889,000, expenditures of $15,051,000. So you have a slight deficiency of $161,596, but with the loan proceeds, you have a positive balance of about $3.8 million from year end. So that's where that's coming from. You also see on page 12, the business activities include the electric fund, waterworks, sewage fund, landfill, and the airport. Revenues of over $27 million with expenses of about $20 million. After depreciation, you're looking at a surplus of $2.1 million. So the strengths of our city do remain on our business operations. The positive is, or the audit is very positive. I think always a word of caution when you're looking at the future pension liabilities. Both the police and fire fund council will have to take an eye on that, and we'll have to begin to strategize for that. In addition, I think there's also positive points. The city paid off $2.4 million of bonds this year, which is, again, indicates strength of the city. Also, I wanted to indicate that the work of Gary Hyla, City Clerk's Office, has been outstanding in putting this together and greatly appreciated. If there's any other questions, Treasurer is here. Alderman Radke, City Clerk, be happy to answer those.
I did have a slight question, which was minor, which I had correspondence with Mr. Sohn from Whitfly, and I just simply asked him about if the investigation had any, factor to play in the audit. And he said if it does, it would be in 2014, which they would review then. So.
Yeah, this is the 2013 with year ends in April, so that indicates that. But overall, again, the City of Peru maintains a strong financial background, and we move ahead. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2013 audit.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke, to receive and approve the 2013 audit. Is there any discussion? We'll have a roll call. Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
In addition, Your Honor, we have a motion to approve a $1,000 donation for the Illinois Valley Rotters Club for their 2014 car show and cruise. It has been indicated that those proceeds will go to the CSO, which in turn the CSO will use those proceeds for both flags and Christmas decorations for the City of Peru. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that donation to the Illinois Valley Rotters Club.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke, to approve the $1,000 donation to the Illinois Valley Rotters Club for their 2014 car show and cruise. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
I just had one quick question. Those funds come from the hotel tax, correct? hotel motel fund?
That's correct.
Okay.
Any further? Call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller. Sapienza.
In addition, at the last...
Motion approved.
In addition, at the last Finance Committee, Mr. Vickery had given us kind of a caption of the economic development going on in the city of Peru, and I'd like to say that we have a lot of action going on, and we will see some pleasant surprises in 2014.
Okay, anything further, Accounts and Finance?
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Public Works, Alderman Waldorf, Alderman Lukosius.
Yes, Your Honor. Tonight, I'd like to make a motion to sell 22,000 2013 RECs to Element Markets for 85 cents per REC for a total of $18,700.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion from Alderman Lukosius, second by Alderman Waldorf, to sell 22,000 2013 credits for 85 cents for a total of $18,700. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller. Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Clerk, what do we have for a balance now in RECs?
We had 28,775, and I've got some other people that are interested in the balance of those recs for about 20 cents less, but they're the newest vintage, so we kind of sat on some before and it worked out for us. We went from 50 cents all the way to 85, so the market's getting a little stronger.
Good.
Your Honor, I have the water and wastewater treatment plants report for November of 2013. This report shows at our water treatment plant that we produced 84.4 million gallons. On the wastewater side, at our east plant, we treated in normal flow a little over 73 million gallons, and at our west plant, treated almost 35 million gallons. I would like to make a motion that we receive this report and place it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius, to receive the water wastewater plant report for November 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Next, Your Honor, I would like to make a motion to approve a change order in the amount of $5,318.75 to DJ Sickley Construction Company for the West Wastewater Treatment Sludge Dewatering Facility. This is, let's see if I can find this here. There are a number of items that, in the process of building that, we're just going to make it a better facility, and the total was that $5,000 figure. There was no attic access included, so that was $125. There was some additional concrete footings for a little over $500, an additional floor drain for a little over $1,000, two two-way valves rather than one three-way valve, and that was a credit of $244. Additional water main required for hydrant was $860. Additional work for the FD line, existing 24-inch RCCP was in the way, so they had to move that. That was almost $2,000, and circuit wiring for a door opener was $1,000. So I will make that a motion on the amount of $5,318.75.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion, Alderman Waldorf, second Alderman Lukosius, to approve the change order in the amount of $5,318.75 to DJ Sickley Construction. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller. Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to award the bid for the Kings Inn demolition project to the lowest bidder, Hannigan Wrecking, in the amount of $448,400 for demolition, asbestos abatement, and site restoration.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius, to award the bid for the Kings Inn demolition to Hennigan Wrecking, the lowest bidder, $448,400, which includes asbestos abatement and site restoration. Is there any discussion?
Yes,
just-
Your Honor. Go ahead, Alderman Ferrari.
When would be the start time on this, Mike?
We have been in communication with Hennigan, and
It would take about 30 days to actually execute contracts with payment and performance bonds for the work. So we would set up a pre-construction conference approximately 1 month, and then the abatement work would begin probably mid to late February.
Thank you.
I did have a question. Is that a firm price on asbestos abatement? If they find any other, that's their problem, not ours?
That's correct.
Okay.
Your Honor, we most likely own the Howard Johnsons by at least through the year 2014, which is the main eyesore coming into the city. We're going to have $450,000 in to raise the King's Inn, which the Howard Johnsons is much larger than that, so we could probably estimate that property is going to be closer to $1 million to raise. It seems to me that I know that we had already purchased the King's Inn. We've owned it now for close to a year. It seems like that's about $1.5 million that we're going to be invested between the two hotels, and I'm wondering if how we're going to come up with that kind of money. I know we're discussing the King's Inn at this point, but still looking into the future, into 2014, coming up with $1.5 million just to raise properties. Do we have $1.5 million to be raised in these two hotels?
I think if we kind of go back to start with the King's Inn first, you know, it was decided to take that out of the motel tax. You know, you're sitting on about 1.1 million there, you know, right now. But they just kind of did the budget for that last week, and have a feeling that you'll probably pick up another $360,000 next fiscal year. So depending on what the time frame is and what the actual bid is to level the Howard Johnson is going to determine if we've got the cash on hand or not.
It just seems that we should be focusing in on that Howard Johnson's. I mean, that's going to be coming in our hands here shortly, I'm sure. And, well, I'm pretty sure of it. It seems like the money should be going there, focusing on that. I don't believe we've received an appraisal yet for the Howard Johnson's, have we? To even see what that land is worth?
We don't have that property yet.
No, King's Inn, I'm sorry, King's Inn. King's Inn.
Oh, the King's Inn.
I don't believe we received an appraisal on the King's Inn yet, have we? To see what that's
Never asked for one. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I think we should do that. I mean, when we get into buying any kind of property, it seems like finding out what that property is worth, that land is worth after, you know, I mean, we're going to be investing $500,000 into that King's Inn. I think there are other ways to go about doing that, which that's something that I have always said. Couldn't we get that property appraised?
Okay, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the demolition of approving the $448,400 for demolition. So you can't appraise it till it's leveled, and there's something to appraise.
I guesstimated this about a year ago what it was going to cost $500,000 to raise that property, and everybody kind of thought I was way over on that. And I'm going to call this. We're going to end up losing about $300,000 on this property. Mark my word on that. So I don't think we should go that route. So I oppose that.
Okay.
I think you have to take a long-term view of the property. I respect your opinion, but I think you're taking a very narrow and very short-term view of the property. One hotel development, for instance, might generate $50,000 a year in hotel-motel tax. So, you know, that money comes back to the city, and to leave the property stagnant, then there's no money coming back to the city. And quite frankly, there's no private developer that's going to spend $500,000 to level that property and build a building on it. It's just not going to happen.
Well, I would say that taking advantage of the incentives that we have through the TIF, and, you know, why wouldn't that happen? Well, anyway, it's going to go forward, so I'm just letting you know how I oppose it.
Okay, have a roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Nay.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, I have a couple of miscellaneous items. First and foremost, I'd like to commend our Public Works, all the city employees through that snowstorm. Did a heck of a job. I appreciated the robocall going out, the code red call going out, so that most of the residents moved their cars. We were able to really open up the streets. They did a heck of a job. They were out there for a long time. A lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings. They got a good workout, and they did a heck of a job, so I want to commend them. This morning early, the city crews were also out filling potholes. I don't know that I can say that they filled every pothole in the city, but it is one heck of a lot better, and I commend them on a job well done for that, too. There were a lot of them out there. Shooting Park Road was bad, and it is a lot better now. I understand that the truck that was found, we'll have our city mechanic look at it and decide if we want to go forward with purchasing that back from the insurance company. Unsure if that'll happen or not, but that's the direction that's going right now. I'd like to announce a Public Works meeting on the 20th, this coming Monday at 10 a.m. Everyone's welcome to attend. And finally, certainly not last but not least, Mike, do you have a flood update for early in the spring, April, when we had the issues up north, please?
Yes, sir. Basically, to kind of keep it brief, I'll try to give you just a quick 90-second snapshot. What we went ahead and prepared at the request of the committee was a book that we're going to keep over in the Public Works office where Chief Burnaby currently is at when he's over here looking at public work items. And what the book will have, it has sections that include the original report. There's all the data that's been collected and analyzed for the flow monitoring. If you recall, we have 3 zones that we've been monitoring, north of Winslow Road and everything on the Marquette Road area at this point. North of Winslow Road, from Winslow Road to 28th and Marquette, and then south on Marquette down to Shooting Park. After all the smoke testing that was completed, all the sewer cleaning and televising that was done both in the Marquette Road area and the St. John's area, the flow monitoring continues to show a 10-to-1 peak to average increase in flow north of Winslow, an additional 4-to-1 peak between Winslow and 28th and Marquette, and then a 9-to-1 peak. So we are continuing to see there are still problems north of Winslow and south of 28th Street that need to be identified and cured. And one of the monitors is on the internet accessible option at this point. We also in the booklet that will be available again for any of the aldermen to review, we'll keep a summary of the basement sewer separation efforts. To date, 17 homes elected to go with the plan, and the city has reimbursed approximately $32,000 of $64,000 of home basement separation improvements. We also have a summary of all the requests that were submitted to FEMA for capital improvements. There were a number of repairs that were reimbursed and man hours, et cetera, that the clerk and the treasurer could give you a summary on, but none of the major projects to date have been funded by FEMA. The one that they have still continued to indicate they are looking and will intend to fund is Water Street, the sanitary sewer sag down in Water Street. But again, to date, clerk's office hasn't received money for that, so that's still on hold, but it is basically ready to go to bid. So that information's in the file, and then any other historical information. All of the items identified, I wouldn't say all of them, but probably 90% of the items identified during smoke testing and televising were completed. Really the good thing about, I guess, the request to do a quick update is that as we move here in the next couple of weeks into, I guess, the more intensive phase of budgeting in Public Works, Treasurer Hylas, he's honing in on that number that's available for Area 1 Phase 2 street improvements and other infrastructure. There are 2 or 3 significant projects that are in the 100,000 and up range that were identified during this that will certainly be up for discussion and potential inclusion in this next year's budget. Okay, thank you.
While we're on that, I'd like pertaining to that, I was wondering if we could have maybe after you and Jeff and the chief sit down and the committee, we could have another 6 o'clock meeting, let the residents know, you know, what we've been doing and, you know, future.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
The other thing we need to look at too is last Friday we sent trucks, especially up north, cleaning catch basins. We started getting all that rain, and then with the snow melt that was happening, and we continue to get more snow. Those are the times we really have to look at some flooding issues going on also. If the residents can keep an eye on their catch basins, whether they show them or call us to get them out if they're buried, that's something we need to know. If we can get that in the paper, that'll help us out a lot for the flooding, especially up in that area there.
That's all from Public Works, Your Honor. Thank you.
Public Health Safety, Alderman Ferrari, Alderman Sapienza.
Your Honor, I have the fire report for the pay period ending January 4th, 2014. Crew Fire Department received and responded to a total of 16 calls for that pay period, for a total payroll for the period ending January 4th of $4,683.34. I'd like to make a motion to accept the report and place it on file.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Sapienza, second by Alderman Ferrari. Accept the Crew Fire Department report for period ending January 4th, 2014, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Your Honor, I also have the Prue Volunteer Ambulance Service report for the month of December 2013. The Prue Volunteer Ambulance Service responded to a total of 198 patient calls during the month of December. The total mileage logged was 7,157 miles for that month. Your Honor, I also have a summary for the year of 2013. I'd like to include this in the motion. The Prue Volunteer Ambulance Service responded to 2,625 calls during the year of 2013. They logged a total mileage of 89,870 miles for that year. I'd like to make a motion to accept the report and have them placed on file.
Second, Your Honor.
A motion by Alderman Sapienza, second by Alderman Ferrari to receive Prue Volunteer Ambulance Service activity for December 2013 and the entire year of 2013. Place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Your Honor, Chief King brought us a little treat this evening before the meeting. Chief, do you have anything to say there?
Yeah, basically that's the new truck. Finally made it in. We're going to spend the next probably 2 weeks getting it outfitted, getting everything on it. We've got a few things that haven't come in yet, but mostly the fire hose and stuff like that. Once we get that stuff loaded onto the truck, each firefighter has to go through 8 hours of training before they're going to be allowed to use that truck. So we're realistically looking at late February, 1st of March before we'll respond to its first call. So, but it is here. They did a great job on it. It's a state-of-the-art engine.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have nothing further.
Public Property, Alderman Perez, Alderman Mueller.
Yes, Your Honor. I have the Prue Public Library cash account summary for the period ending December 31st, 2013. Total funds available in the library fund are $424,192.10. I'd like to make a motion that we accept this report and place it on file.
Second that, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Mueller, second by Alderman Perez to receive Prue Public Library cash account summary for December 2013, placed on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Anything further?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, we did have a public property meeting this evening earlier, and we are obtaining proposal amounts from several appraisers for the pole yard, I guess, the property on Water Street. So we are moving forward on that. We are meeting at 6 o'clock on Thursday with Treasurer Hyland to look at the budget for next year. And update on the Howard Johnson's is I do have Attorney Schweikert, I do have the verbiage, and probably will be going to the county clerk's office this week with the labels and getting that sent out.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, report to City Attorney, ordinances, resolutions.
Yes, Your Honor, there was a couple of joint hearings before the Plan Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals. First concern the petition of Harry J. Pappas, trustee. This be the property at 3947 Frontage Road. And the petitioner requests, this is completely developed property. As you know, it has a financial institution on the west side and then the Pappas office building to the east of that, which comprises the Manpower office and the McDonald's office is what's in the Pappas office building. And they request to divide that property into two parcels, such as financial institution would be on Lot 1 and the Pappas office building on Lot 2. All members of the Zoning Board of Appeals were present. All members of the Plan Commission were present except Basali and Stewart. Attorney John Duncan represented the petitioners. He stated the petitioner desires to divide the property out into the two buildings for eventual division or sale, but at the present time there are no immediate plans. He stated Lot 1 contains a financial institution and Lot 2 contains a Pappas office building. Both buildings are accessed from the frontage road. Member Atkinson stated that buildings have been there for many years and he sees no issues in the division of those buildings into separate parcels. Member Biederstadt concurred in that assessment. Attorney Duncan stated each building has its own separate parking spaces which are adequate. No variances are needed. No objectors are present in the hearing. Biederstadt moved. Harrington second. Plan Commission favorably recommend the waivers. The subdivision ordinance passed unanimously. Harrington moved. Brining seconded from the Zoning Board of Appeals that the variances be favorably recommended. Passed unanimously.
Okay, we have a motion to receive the minutes. Place on file.
Second, Your Honor.
A motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Lukosius to receive the minutes and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
We have ordinance granting the variances and waivers, be it ordained that the requirement of preliminary plat, subdivision improvement, security, plan review fees, infrastructure construction inspection fees, requirement of subdivision improvement, security, and sidewalks are waived. Lot 1 is granted the following variances: lot width from 150 feet to 125, west front yard setback from 40 to 34.26 feet, north side yard setback from 20 feet to 5. Lot 2, this would be the Pappas office building variances. It's kind of a flag lot that comes in, so it's a 25-foot access from a frontage road east to serve the Pappas office building. So that would give it 25 feet on frontage road. And so they asked that the lot width at that point be reduced to that point. Rear yard setback reduced from 40 to 26. North side yard setback from 20 to 18. South side yard setback reduced from 20 to 18.
Do we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
I have a motion by Alderman Perez, second by Alderman Mueller. Radke, to accept the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
We have ordinance approving the final plat, be ordained final plat of Right Path subdivision of City of Peru, LaSalle County, Illinois, is made by Edwin H. King, Illinois Professional Land Surveyor, dated November 11, 2013, under and by direction of the owner of premises described and platted therein, be and the same is hereby approved and accepted.
I have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read.
So moved.
Second that, Your Honor.
I have a motion by Alderman Radke, second by Alderman Perez. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
Next concerns the petition of Jill Gahan and Kirk Slusher. That's property at 2101 to 2110 Forest Street. As you recall, that was the original Beck's Tavern. Roland and Charlene Bekaleski had sold that property to Gahan and Slusher, I think they're sister and brother. And then they subsequently sold the tavern portion to the Right Spice Steinbachs and retained the Jacob Metan. That contract, I think, is coming due, so they're asking for a division of those properties into two separate lots, which would not be full lots of record, resulting for the Jamaica Metan. So they're asking for one, waivers from the subdivision ordinance since the property's already fully developed, and the necessary variances to approve the existing structures as they now sit. All members of the Zoning Board of Appeals were present. All members of the Plan Commission except Basali and Stewart. Jordan Steinbach, after being first duly sworn, introduced the plat of survey of the property and evidence, stated he is a contract buyer for the past 10 years of the Right Spice Supper Club, located at 2102 4th Street. Both 2102 4th Street and 2110 4th Street properties were previously owned by Roland Bekaleski, who then operated Beck Supper Club. Those properties were sold to Joe Gahan and Kirk Slusher, who then in turn sold the restaurant 2102 4th Street to Mr. Steinbach. Member Biederstadt stated that these substandard sized lots, given the zoning classification, were developed many years ago. Mr. Bekaleski put an addition onto the tavern for a dining room, and given the long-standing nature of the improvements on the property, does not have any issues granting the waivers and requested variances. Member Atkinson concurred in that assessment. Member Atkinson also noted Member Bekaleski had concerns about the firewalls between the two buildings. Building Inspector Fire Marshal Jeff King responded when the dining room at the Right Spice was remodeled, there was a fire-rated wall installed. No one was aware of any fire rating on the Jacob Metan property. Member Grabowski stated Teeman Builders built that building, and he can be contacted on the plans. Atkinson, Biederstadt moved, Benvenuti second, Plan Commission recommend the subdivision of the lots as proposed with the waivers from the subdivision ordinance passed unanimously. Zoning Board of Appeals, Member Harrington moved, Wujek seconded that the variances be favorably recommended, passed unanimously.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive the communication, place on file?
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that the minutes be accepted and as written and read.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Mueller to receive the minutes and place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
So we have an ordinance granting those waivers from the subdivision ordinance, and then allowing the division of the lots. It would actually be Lot 1 in the east, 5.99 feet of Lot 2, and then the Jacob Metan would be on Lot 2 except the east 5.99 feet, which is being retained with the Right Spice property.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read.
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Mueller to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, clerk call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Motion approved.
We have ordinance granting the variances that the front yard setback is reduced from 40 feet to 0 feet. West side yard setback from 20 feet to 1 foot. East side yard setback from 40 feet to 0. The minimum lot area for the tavern from 15,000 square feet to 8,260. Minimum square feet for the Jacob Metan would be from 15,000 to 6,750. Minimum lot width from the tavern would be reduced from 150 feet to 65 feet. For the Jacob Metan, be reduced from 150 feet to 54 feet. And then the side yards for both buildings would be 1 foot for each of them. There's about just over a 2 foot distance between the west wall of the tavern and the east wall of Jacob Metan.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we accept the ordinance as written and read.
I'll second.
A motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Sapienza to accept the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke. Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved.
All of you's received the initial report of the Plan Commission, Zoning Board of Appeals on the Dallas State subdivision, but that was moved to adjourn to a date certain to February 5th for conclusion. So you can receive the preliminary report and place it on file, but there's no action to take on that until you get the final report after the February 5th hearing.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive the initial report of the Zoning Appeals and Planning Commission, place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Lukosius to receive the communication, place on file. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Next, we have an ordinance authorizing the execution of a labor agreement between the City of Peru and Peru Professional Firefighters Local 4751 of the International Association of Firefighters for the period of May 1st, 2013 through April 30th, 2016.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the ordinance as written and read.
Second.
Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke to approve the ordinance as written and read. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, the terms of it are 2% wages over the next 3-year period, and there's a greater percentage of health insurance picked up by the city employees. It kind of mirrors the other collective bargaining agreements that have been in place, and this has been the 5th different collective bargaining unit that the City Council has negotiated with over the last 18 months. There's been around 30 to 35 different meetings. Many of those meetings are the closed session meetings that we call. I compliment the Human Resource Director, Kim Reese, for her patience, diligence in the process, and also the entire City Council. Many times negotiations gets very difficult, combative, and sometimes even ugly. It's important to note that the committee and the council maintain a professionalism that represented both the residents in the short-term and long-term future.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Radke. If there's no further discussion, we'll have a roll call vote. Clerk call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Motion approved. Unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business?
I'd just like to ask corporate counsel, is there any more happening with the old power plant property? Or anything, any updates on that, or?
No, although a couple weeks ago I gotten a call from one of the attorneys that had filed a mechanics lien on the property. He says, go ahead and do with it what you will. You know, the property's otherwise in a floodplain, and there's really, and people have 2 years from the filing of mechanics lien to do any foreclosure on it. We will file our complaint to get the deed. I assume it'll be a default by A Unified. We also have our mechanics lien, but I really cannot imagine anyone proceeding to foreclose on the mechanics lien, because the cost of that, in my opinion, would exceed the underlying value of the real estate. So, and after 2 years, they'll be done.
Any other unfinished business? New business? Do
Could
we
we
have
get an
any?
update on the investigation?
I spoke with Attorney Blestry today, and he indicated that he would have the report to the council in the next 48 hours, and he'll have copies made at the clerk's office and presented to the council in sealed envelopes.
Thank you.
Any other unfinished business? Any new business?
Your Honor, there are two motions under new business that the committee, the Public Works Committee, is not ready to discuss at this time. It'll be a month or so, if not just a little bit longer than that, before we really need to, or can, with the right information, discuss the way to go about looking for a superintendent and/or engineer. So I'll make a motion to just table those items.
Okay, petitions, communications?
I do have one communication, Your Honor. It's from Tabitha Peters, and she's asking to reserve the use of Baker Lake and the East Side Shelter on April the 19th this year for a national 5K walk run for Shringamelia. And they'll have local business sponsor the event, as well as the Peru Police Association as the main contributor. Tabitha Peters is the wife of Peru Patrol Officer Matt Peters, and she has this been diagnosed with this disease, and this will be an event to bring some awareness to the local area.
I'll make a motion to allow the event.
Second that, Your Honor.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Perez to receive the communication and approve the event. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Do you have any other?
That's the only communication, Your Honor.
Okay, we did have one come in late today at 5:10, so I'm going to ask Mr. Vickery to say a few words about this.
Hold it down? Gotcha. Hear me? Are we good? Are we good? All right. Thank you, Mayor Harrell, members of the council. We received a letter today after we had met with CVS Pharmacy. CVS called us on December 31st, asked to come down for a meeting. They were here last Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and as Mayor Harrell said, the letter came in late this afternoon. I'll read most of it to you. We are writing to provide you with preliminary notice that our client, CVS Pharmacy, as developer, intends in the coming weeks to file a development application with respect to development plans to construct a new pharmacy building located at the southeast intersection of Shooting Park Road and 251. And then they go on to say what's coming. They're going to ask for re-subdivision, signage changes, liquor license to be transferred, and other development proposals. This is an exciting event for the City of Peru. That corner is going to be completely restylized. CVS is going to not only build their new building, they also, and this is the best part of it, they also bought the entire shopping center. They bought all the land that's owned by the current owners. So any building, any land, even the land behind it, south through the ravine all the way down to 10th Street, is now going to be owned by CVS. It's my understanding that CVS is going to demolish the Jewel building, not the entire strip center east to west, but just the Jewel shopping center building. They may push some of that shopping center south and take advantage of the land that is behind the current Jewel building, and you'll see the entire center be restylized. But the first thing they're going to do is build that new store at the corner of Shooting Park and 251, and it's about a 13,200 square foot new building. Questions?
And this will be more toward Shooting Park Road, correct?
Yeah, it's right up. Alderman Lukosius will be nestled right up in the northwest corner of the current property.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Great news.
As Alderman Putoff had already mentioned earlier in the meeting that Bob's been talking to the Finance Committee about a lot of economic development actions, and this is, I think, one of the ones on your list. There's many more, so hopefully 2014 there's a lot more of this.
I agree, thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive this communication, place on file, and turn it over to planning and zoning for
So moved, Your Honor.
review and recommendation? Who gave the second? Have a motion by Alderman Putoff, second by Alderman Lukosius, to receive the communication, place on file, turn it over to planning and zoning for review and recommendation. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Your Honor? If we
Alderman
could-
Perez.
I believe that Alderman Waldorf made a motion to table. Is there to be a motion for that? I don't believe.
No, he just said he wasn't
Okay.
ready to talk about it
All right.
right now.
I was just clarifying, thank you.
Any other petitions, communication?
No, Your Honor.
Public comment, do we have any public comment? Any public comment? One more time, any public comment? No public comment, no closed session, do we have a motion for adjournment? Hold on, wait,
Your Honor.
one more thing, what's
Well,
that?
I forgot to mention one thing during the Public Works section. We did receive communication from Illinois Municipal Utilities Association, and they again this year are sponsoring their scholarship program, and it's open to any high school senior in our area that is a member of, that basically has an electric meter in the city of Peru. And they're $500 scholarships. It's an essay contest. I will be getting this information out to the press and also to the high school counselors. It's a good program. Over the last 13 years, they've given out $32,000 to 64 students in 24 different IMUA communities statewide. It's proven to be very popular and competitive competition for the essay program. So we'd like to see if we can get some Peru people to participate in this. There'll be more information coming.
Okay, the one thing that I failed to mention, we mentioned it back on our meeting on December 30th that Megan Keeney resigned from the Recreation Commission, and I said we would take letters of interest for a month, so the month of January. So far we have two. We have one from Jill Burnell and we have one from Bill Steve. So anybody that's interested, make sure you turn one in so we can review it and make an appointment so they'll be back up to full speed.
Your Honor, as I mentioned, there was another one coming in from Tom Reardon too, so we have another. If I could mention, would it be a possibility when there's a water main break, if the alderman could possibly get a email sent to him? I had one constituent ask me about the water main break that they had in front of their house. I didn't know anything about it, and I think it would be a good idea if we could be informed, just so we have an update or some kind of an idea of something happening in our ward like that. Pardon? I guess any of them, because, you know, we'll get a phone call asking about it, and at least we'll have some knowledge, if that's possible.
Usually in the past, Rodney, what I've always done is they got it on record at the police department. Anything, if there's a water main break, they'll know about it, so.
Email would be nice, notification if something's going on currently.
Okay, we have a motion for adjournment.
One more thing, Your Honor, sorry. Yeah, Colombo, yeah, where's my trench coat? The bid letting for the Shooting Park Road resurfacing will be done on the 17th of January coming up. So all the potholes are filled, that road's gonna get resurfaced this year, so that'll be a real good thing for the city too.
And that'll be resurfaced from Pulaski to Peoria. Okay. Is there any one more things? Okay. We have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.